Welcome to the Hot Girl School, the podcast where we redefine confidence and go way beyond the reflection you see in the mirror.
We're your hosts, Lauren and Danielle, here to empower you to embrace your inner radiance because confidence is so much more than looks.
Whether you're strutting into an event or conquering the boardroom, join us as we explore topics like self-love, inner strength, and owning your unique journey to confidence.
So grab your favorite drinky and turn up that volume because you're about to unleash your true potential. Welcome back to the Hot Girl School, where we talk about how to become more confident. Normally, we shy away from the physical aspect because we truly believe confidence is a vibe, but there is no denying that part of confidence is feeling good physically. Today, we are going to discuss beauty appointments. And with so many options of how to enhance your shell, how do you know what's best for you? We are here to give you the inside scoop and warning, if you are trying to chase away an insecurity, no amount of enhancements will do the trick. You got to do the work. You know, this is my favorite topic.
Amen, sister. I love it. This will be fun.
This will be super fun. So, to start out kind of light, what beauty appointments do you do?
So, okay, I don't do a ton. I do like nails. I'm trying to think, like, is that all I do? I do
No.
nails, I do facials, I do massages. That's not a beauty appointment, but it makes you feel good.
No, that counts.
Yeah. And then I like to self tan, but I usually do it myself.
Okay, Botox.
Yeah, I've done Botox a couple of times, and I'm on the fence of if I want to keep doing it or not. But your
Oh my
girl
gosh,
needs some right now. If anybody's watching, you can see my crow's feet.
it's moving. So
Yes.
sad. Nobody wants their face to move. Just kidding. And your hair, you
I
color
see.
your hair.
I do. I disagree with that because I'm like I'm very expressive, and so that's part of it. And then also just I don't know. I'm
And you
like,
color your hair.
okay, yes. Wow, I'm so unprepared.
You're
I
so
do color my
funny.
hair because you know why? Holy crap, I've been gray since I was 22. For all my gray
Oh,
girlies out there, you know my pain.
yeah. So you have to keep
Yeah.
up with that consistently.
Oh yeah, like the reason why I had to go blonde, like I used to have like dark hair. And I had to go blonde because it shows like every 3 weeks and that's not sustainable to go
Yeah.
to a hair appointment every 3 weeks. So I typically go every like 5, maybe 6 weeks.
Okay. So nails and hair color are your two top.
For sure. Yep, and, like, my hack for the gray girlies out there
Mhm.
is, Color Brow. I think that's what it is, but it's, like, this thing that you can do in between. It's a powder that you put on your hairline to cover up your grays.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, and it
Yeah.
works? It doesn't wash
It
out
is
after.
it is a literal
Hmm,
lifesaver
okay.
because nobody feels confident when they got those gray hairs poking out, especially when they're in their 30s like me. So it is I'm like, I need to get an affiliate link or something because I tell everybody that has gray hair, go get this product.
Okay. Can we get a shout out, please? I don't color something. Okay. Well, I do a few more things than you. I do nails, hair. Okay. If you had to eliminate one, that's one other thing I wanted to know. What would you
Yeah.
eliminate?
Ooh. Probably, I mean, nails for sure because, like,
Oh,
I if I had between hair and nails, nails. Like, I'm not gonna walk around with gray hair. Sorry, I'm way too young for
okay.
that.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So I do nails, cut. Now, right now it's blunt. So it's very, I've got to be there all the time. Color, hair color, Botox, filler in my face, dermaplanes, microneedles. What else do I do? Eyelashes. They just keep coming. They just keep coming.
That's okay.
Um, but the whole thing about beauty appointments is that the first step is you have to figure out what look you want. So, do you have a look that you want? I'm guessing yours is a natural look.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to walk in a room and for someone to be like, "Oh, she gets work done. Let's talk." Like, you know what I
She's
mean? For
overdone.
it to be obvious. So anything that I would ever like, I don't know that I'll ever do filler, but even like when I've gotten Botox the couple of times, I'm like, I still want movement. I don't want to be frozen. right?
Okay.
So, and I think that like it's all like the psychology of like how you feel. It doesn't matter which route you go. Like no one way is better than the other. It's just what makes you feel good in your skin.
Right.
And all the things we talked about, those are the things that currently make me feel good. Could they change? For sure. But right now that's what works.
Okay. So let's start at the beginning and tie this back to confidence because what you look like on the outside, as I said, it does not, you can't escape if you feel shitty on the inside.
Yep.
So you have to combine the fact that you've got everybody wants to be physically attractive and everybody wants to be a looker. I don't know what other word to use. Like everybody wants to walk in a room and be stared at, I would think.
Yeah.
And in order to have that come across as correct, it's it's your vibe. It's how you feel about yourself, which this show is
100.
all about confidence and we've given you the tools on how to work on yourself so that when you come to the beauty appointments, it's trial and error. So number 1, figure out what you want your look to be, and number 2, you're not just empty on the inside even though you look great. Like how many girls have you seen and you're like, "Oh my god, she's drop dead gorgeous." And then you talk to her and you're like, "Oh, there's like nothing there."
Yeah, it's the worst.
And it's kind of
Literal
sad.
worst. It's the
It's
worst.
sad because when your whole worth is based on what you look like, it's not fun. You're not valued for your brain. So, anything to add to that?
No, I mean, I think that we stress this a lot too, is that like I think sometimes we struggle with what we're giving because we're like it's not about looks, but also confidence comes from how you feel. And so that's why like the clothes that you're choosing and the beauty appointments that we're going over with you, it doesn't matter. Like we can't stress enough. It doesn't matter which route you take. The more natural look, the more like I love all the things at the surgeon's office, right? Like give me all the shit. It doesn't matter which way it is. It just matters how you feel, but we also want you to remember to look inside. Like are you doing those things only for external validation? Like are you going to beauty appointments just to get validation from how you look? And if that is the case, if you're nodding and you're like, "Ooh, I might be doing that," or "I feel attacked right now, Danielle," then just like sit with that because that's some things internally that you want to do to help boost your confidence and not be so reliant on that external validation.
Correct. So, the beauty appointments are certainly there to help you feel better. We'll say prevent anti-aging, but it doesn't fix any insecurities, and if that's what you're doing it wrong. Sorry,
Yep,
it's a little
for
bit blunt,
sure.
but that's me. So, first step for beauty appointments, let's start with the foundation. So, there are 4 things that you need to do, which is number 1, drink a gallon of water a day. This helps your skin, this helps your brain, this helps you sleep. And I've got 2 facts for you. Did you know that the adult female's body is made up of 55% of water? And number 2, 98% of people label their thirst as hunger, which is why people tend to overeat because they don't realize that they're hungry. And
Mhm.
because I was anorexic for so long, water is one way that I don't eat. And I still do that to this day. And that gallon of water really curbs your appetite. And you're just like not hungry because you're actually satisfied. Your body doesn't really need that much food, right? Like you don't really need that many calories per day. So if you can start with drinking, more water every day, you're going to help your glow, we'll call it.
Yeah.
And then you've
Well,
got the
and so, I
basic
mean,
stuff.
water is so important, right? And it's a great way to get in tune with your hunger hormone. So, I
Mhm.
interviewed this girl whose episode will air later that is like a diet specialist. She has this really cool method called Yummy Mummy method, and it's how to lose weight for the last time. And she's
Mhm.
super fun. And one of the things that we talk about is the hunger hormone. And so, like, eliminating flour and sugar is a way to regulate it and then making sure you're hydrated, like you talked about. So sometimes like if you feel like you're constantly wanting to snack and all of those things, you probably have a deregulated hunger hormone, and drinking water can help you identify like whether you're actually hungry or you're just dehydrated.
Yes, and most people walk around super dehydrated, and that's a whole different topic that
Yeah,
we could get into. I
for
love this kind of
sure.
stuff. So for the foundations, you've got the basic stuff: exercise, eat healthy, use quality cleanser and toner, wash your face every night before you go to bed, have quality sleep. and then drink your gallon of water a day. So these are for everybody, but if you're like, this is not my episode, like I don't want to hear more about beauty appointments. This is for
Yeah.
anybody who doesn't want to go get anything done. This is your foundation. So start here, start incorporating these things because these are a big deal. And then we're hoping that you take your beauty appointments and just add to them.
Yes, love it. Such great foundations.
All right. So we believe that there are two types of beauty appointments. You have maintenance, like skincare, right? So like
Mhm.
dermaplanes, microneedles, nails. I'll put nails in there. And then you have
Yeah.
enhancements. So that's like lip filler and eyelashes and BBLs if you're in Miami. A little much. And both cost time and money. So, first and foremost, always have a referral. I have a beauty list for both Miami and Scottsdale. If anybody wants that, please DM us beauty list, and I am happy to send you my girls. So, I think it's important to start with the foundation. And then as you go and build, like you have to know it's a trial and error. Like you would not
Yeah.
have known that you like or don't like Botox or even how you feel about it unless you went and did it. Then now
Mhm.
you're thinking, okay, I'm kind of on the fence.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like I'm like, "Okay, I see that it's worn off,"
Right.
but I'm like, "I don't know, I kinda like the movement in my face."
That is so you might be the first person I've ever heard say that, by the way.
Yeah, but I also feel like where my movement is not the typical like I don't have a bunch of lines on my forehead. Like I feel like that probably would make me feel insecure and that I make it like I'm looking older, but I don't
Mhm.
have like I don't have a ton of lines yet. So maybe it's also like once they come, I'll have a whole different opinion.
Mean because it's in the process of wearing off?
No, like I just feel like I don't have a lot of lines on my forehead in general.
Yo, you don't use your forehead.
I mean, I raise my eyebrows and stuff, but I don't
Yeah.
feel like I have like when I'm just
The
sitting here, I don't feel like I
leftover
have a bunch of lines.
creases.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that. I use my forehead a lot. So, like, Botox was the first thing I did at, like, I don't know if it wasn't 29, it was 30, it was super young.
What do you know what do you have any, like, statistics around when you should start when they recommend starting Botox?
In your 30s, in your early 30s, because then technically what Botox does is because you're frozen, it trains your muscles to stop working. I don't personally think it does. For me, I can feel my eyebrows wanting to raise right now, but they're not moving. So
Yeah,
like, I don't know. You kind of have to just figure out what you like and what you don't and how you get there. Um, but some of it's preventative, you know?
yeah,
You don't want to overdo it. I don't think you should want to overdo it. It's a big I don't know, this culture that we live in is so based on looks because of social media. And I think that does a lot of damage to people. And people forget that just because you look a certain way on the outside, like it doesn't mean that they feel good on the inside. And so a lot of people try to cover things up and they're kind of dull. Like, you meet like a hot guy and you're
mhm.
like, oh my God, he's so hot. And then you get to know him and you're like, oh, you're like really boring. There's nothing in there.
Yeah,
So
it's
not and some guys do beauty appointments, but it's the same thing, like, you
I
wanna make
that's what I
sure
feel like
that
there's this tug of war because 'cause I'm like, I hate that women, especially, like, in our late 30s, early 40s, feel this pressure to, like, stop aging that I'm like, there's
Mhm.
also so much wisdom and cool stuff that happens with getting older. Like, I love birthdays, I don't stress out about, like, turning 40 and things like that, and I don't know if, like, that's part of my block, if you will, around it is, like, maybe I can be the one that's like, "Hey, we can age naturally, it's okay." I don't know. Lot to unpack here,
Yeah, I
friends.
was gonna say everybody's tolerance is different, right? So,
Yeah.
like, when you start watching yourself on camera all the time, you're like, "Oh, what's this? Oh, what's that?" And, like, you kinda wanna fix it, and it's a little bit sad, like, think about your grandmother, right? When you know your grandmother, you only have one version of her in your head because that's pretty much what she looked like your whole life, but when you go back and see pictures of her when she's younger, you're like, "Oh," like, I'm sure the first time anybody sees a picture of their grandmother at 20, 30, you're like, kinda blown away, like, "Wow, you actually used to be really pretty," you
Yeah.
know? Like, we wanna
Mhm.
hang on to that in a way, I don't think you ever can fully, maybe
Yeah.
if you're Nicole Kidman, she got a lot of shit done to her face and she looks beautiful somehow, but, yeah, just because 'cause you're old and wise doesn't mean that you have to look old and wise. I probably have a outlaw opinion, I'm gonna do all the things and get the facelift and all those.
I'll let you test it, and then I'll be like, "How was it? Okay, let's see your results.
I'll be like, "I should have
Who
tried a
did you
different
go to?"
doctor."
Yeah, you'll be my guinea pig.
But, uh but yeah, I think the main piece of this is that beauty appointments are important, especially because they can make you feel great about yourself. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change who you are. Like, have you ever gone shopping when you were mad, upset, sad, and you get home and you look at everything and you're like, that was a total waste of money and I feel no better?
Yeah. Or it also happens when you, like, really need something, you can never find, like, the goods like, you always find the best stuff when you're not looking. Boyfriends, husbands,
Yep.
clothes, right? And then you get home and you're I was like we went to Disneyland and I needed an outfit for Disneyland. I bought everything that I bought probably, like, 6 different options. I took it all back. I hated it all
Oh,
because I
wow.
was, like, forcing it,
Right.
forcing to find something. So I totally, totally relate to that.
Yeah. And so that's kind of how beauty appointments get. And speaking of forcing it, when you do something like make things bigger, like your lips will use, it can be too much. And then you're going back and you want more put in. And now you look silly and people don't have the guts. And of course, the person who's injecting you is never going to say, yeah, that's too much because then they're losing out on money. So,
This is why you need good friends that are gonna be like, "Hey, pump the brakes. They're big enough." Like, don't be afraid to tell your friends, like, PSA, tell your friends if they're going too far with the filler and the things.
yeah.
Because and also, what do you do this? Maybe you do this. Okay, if I ever decided to go down the filler journey, I think I would make a folder, an album on my phone where I would take pictures so I can see if, like, I don't want my face to completely change. Does that make sense? Like, do
Yeah.
you do that where you look back and you're like, kind of to gauge on yourself, like, "Am I going too far, or where is this at?"
I don't well, naturally, I would just take photos from being out, but yes, I can look back and be like, "Oh, that Botox did not look good," wherever that placement was. But
Yeah.
yeah, and that's smart because we do get carried away, and
Mhm.
that's why it's important to go back to step 1 and figure out what it is that you wanna look like. Not who you wanna look like, but, like, what's your look? Are you natural? Do you wanna be a little more than natural? Like, my motto is, I always want people to look at me and wonder if it's real or fake. And
Yeah.
I know that I achieved that because I have plenty of people. They're like, "Are your lips real or fake? Are your eyelashes real or fake? Are your boobs real or fake?" And that's exactly where I want to be because that means that they're so good that they're like, "You can't be real," but at the same time, they don't look fake. That's a good place to
Mhm.
be. That's my
Yeah.
rule of thumb.
That's a great gauge.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't know where I came up with that, but so anything else, or we can wrap it up.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like the big takeaway here with so you're going to have beauty appointments, right? Do the ones that feel right for you. I think asking for referrals is so huge, especially if you start to get into the injections and things like that.
Hmm.
Like don't there I see it all the time where they have, like, the girls' nights and they have the Botox person there, like, make sure that person is legit, like, not to like, I'm not downplaying the girls that are doing that by any stretch, but, like, do a little bit of research, make sure they didn't just get licensed and they're trying to get their name out there, like, this is your face we're talking about,
Yeah,
okay?
I know.
So, that's my little tip, like, I'm like, I've gone to some of those and I'm seeing people get injected and I'm like, "I wonder if they know if this person has been doing this for a month or for 3 years."
And it makes a difference. I mean, technically it can be dissolved, but nobody wants to go back and like go through the trauma of having Botox and like having a droopy eye or like whatever it is. I've never thankfully had anything wrong, but I know that some girls have, and that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
So we just want to end with saying choose your beauty appointments wisely and start with an outstanding foundation and add from there. Know you might waste a little money along the way because not everything is for everyone. Stick to the services that make you feel the best because they will never be a waste of money. The most important thing to take away is that your mental health is far more important than what you look like because your vibe is what matters the most.
Love it. Stay vibey, friends.
And a little pretty.
Until
Bye,
next time.
hotties.